Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my first show, and today joining me is one of my oldest colleagues, Sadurshan. Currently, he's working for an Australian company as a tech lead, and of course, he's a badass freelancer. So let's get to the show. Well, Sadurshan, when it comes to freelancing, there's three major problems for everyone. That's one being where and how to find clients, and two,
Yeah,
how to build relationships with those clients to gain more work slash maybe possibly lead them towards another client, and one of the biggest one is how to price your work, and I'm sure beginner freelancers struggle with this thing most often. So along with this thing, we'll be discussing more points as well. So what's your take on
yeah.
how and where do you find clients? How do you think that's possible right now with this situation?
Okay. This situation actually now it's a lot friendly for the freelancers actually. It depends on what area you're trying to find work for. Like, if you're a designer, web developer, these days a lot of work. A lot of clients are looking for to start business. That means they want logo, websites. Mostly people want to go in the digital way. So if you're starting a brick and mortar shop, most people don't consider about the logos or anything at the start. They just want to pick a name and just rent a shop and they start business. But these days, when you are opening a business, you have to be in the digital area. So for that, logos and brochures, websites, those are important. So a lot of clients are looking for designers and developers these days. Where you can find them is the thing now. How you started, it's important now. As a freelancer, you have to start somewhere. Um, some like work from your friends or your family starting business. They'll be bringing you some small projects. You have to work. So after that, it's making connection. After you somehow you got your first work, and then you have to keep up with the clients, making connections. Those clients will suggest you for other clients, and it's like a chain. That's how it's working for me. So when I got my first job, it was from one of my friend, and then it was a lot of ups and downs I had.
Yeah,
And yeah, so that's that. It's mostly a chain. The first project mostly will come from your friend or family. I mean, I would suggest, even if it's free, you should do it, because you're not gonna get any money, but it's experience, and that project is going to go to your portfolio. That's something important. Portfolio is very important on freelance, because if it's a company, the people will know me. It's a registered company. I can trust these people that they can do the job. But as a freelancer, you don't have any, like, I'm a freelancer certificate or anything.
yeah,
Your
that's true, that's
portfolio
true.
is the important thing. Where clients will definitely ask, oh, can you show us your old work or something? So it doesn't have to be a website. If you have a website, that's better. But if you have like as a PDF document of all the projects you have done, all the design works and some website links you have. The building a portfolio is an important. So I would suggest, even if your first project is free, I would suggest you to do it, complete it. First two projects, and after that you will know. I know the work. I know how to price my work and all. And at a point, you gotta get this much of money for my work. I can't do
Yeah,
anything
but
for
what
free.
what would you say for someone just got into it, right? Let's just say they just finished some kind of a course, and they want to do
Yeah,
this
yeah,
freelance thing. So obviously I had this problem when it comes to pricing, because I don't know if I'm asking too much or if I'm asking less. I was just confused. But it took some time to figure it out. So, but what's your take on figuring that first gig's price? What was that?
yeah. So the first gig, I mean, first gig or any gig, what you have to do, you have to break down the work actually. I
Yeah.
mean, let's say you're pricing for a web development project. There are a lot of tasks involved in that. I mean, buying the domain, buying a hosting package,
Yeah.
and designing it, developing it. Even in the development, you have to think, I mean, what kind of forms are you going to involve, what pages are going to involve. So you got to structure it. I mean, you got to break down everything, and then you most importantly, you have to think how many hours you're going to put into this work.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So, I mean, you might, I mean, before we start the freelancing, I mean, you might know, I mean, how much web development salary, I mean, not for the freelance. If you get hired for a company, you would know, I mean, what is the salary for, I mean, average salary for this job. So you will know, okay, this much is the salary. So let's say in a month, if I can complete this project, let's say this is the average salary job, how many hours I'm going to put into this project, and you can calculate, I mean, but still that's a monthly salary, and this is for the whole project. So calculating the price for the whole project, I mean, it's definitely different, but if you are starting just now, I mean, for the freelance thing, I mean, you can compare that price and put it for the beginning. But of course you can't quote a lot for the at the beginning stage.
First, yeah, yeah.
So you can just
It's
get
it's
the idea,
it's
or
about
you can
actually building your portfolio with all this work, right? But that also comes under one thing. But most of these companies, they have these things like not publishing their work elsewhere. So how do you deal with that? Because I have dealt with that a few times, because I'm not supposed to post that anywhere on my Behance or Dribble or anywhere. So for those people,
confidential.
Sorry.
Confidentiality.
Confidential,
Right?
yeah, that exactly. That's the problem. A lot of companies, they do that. So in that case, I figured that I have to do some work from my own with, uh, to get the portfolio up. But for the certain people with time being, some do the freelance job as with the full-time job. So what's your take on that with these companies, confidentiality, as you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, some companies have that policy. I mean, when we sign the contract, they will mention that we cannot publish these things anywhere. Yeah, I would say it's actually up to them. I mean, if that's how they want it, I mean, we can't do anything. But I mean, when you are designing, let's say you're a UX designer, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can publish certain screens on the digital. I mean, like you can get the approval and post it. Like the reason why they want to make it confidentiality is because the application, let's say, I don't think they will stop you from posting anything website or anything, but if it's a application, it's kind of the idea, right? So they come up with the features. I mean, think about plan these things. So when we post these things, people can still, I mean,
grasp. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We are not going to put all the features.
Yeah, that's exactly. For maybe a website design, that's fine, because it's gonna be obviously in the web. So it's the applications is what they try to protect mostly.
Yeah, even I do. I mean, for inspiration, I go to the Dribble and sometimes I copy things. Put it in that.
I do that. I do that. Like when it's just for research. It's not actually copying. Even every design, I'm sure every UI UX designer / any designer would grasp some inspiration from Dribble, Behance, or anywhere. It's just for inspiration. You just have to get the mind going, warming up, right? You don't when you work out, you go there. You don't do the big ass dumbbells at once, right? So it's the same thing for this. You just get some ideas, warming up your brain.
Yeah, I mean, you can't post everything, but I mean, I think you can post certain screens in the social media. But I would say, I mean, not letting post the logos website, that's not good. I mean,
Yeah, well,
That's not much of an
yeah,
issue. I mean,
yeah,
publishing
that's not
those
an issue.
things.
That is part of the branding. So it doesn't, nobody can't
Yeah,
steal it. So yeah, that's,
yeah.
yeah,
But I was assuming if you are posting those work in the social media, I mean, the work you have created for other company, it's better to mention their name also, because you are working on that on their working hours, because they are paying for that hours, right? So it's kind of like, I mean, they own that work. So I mean, even if you created it, so if you're posting it, I mean, it's better to put their name also. That's way, I mean,
yeah.
it's settled.
All right. So
Yeah.
that's where you find clients, and we got the pricing. It's about, we talked about that. And when do you think it's time to, let's just say, you have a full-time job and you're doing freelancing, when do you think
Yeah.
is the right time to make the leap of faith, like jump right into it and uh, start making a living of it?
Like full-time freelancing.
Full-time freelancing, yeah.
Okay, that's a big jump actually.
Yeah, which you have taken, so
I
that's
would
why
say which you have taken.
I know this.
Yeah, yeah, I have taken. It was at that point, at that situation, it was a big mistake I did. I would
No,
say.
come
I
on.
mean, it's not.
I
I'm
mean,
saying that
you
jumping into
did
the
it.
full
You actually
time.
did it great, man. To be honest.
Yeah, yeah. But I would have. I could have done it better, but I'm not saying jumping into the full time freelancing is a mistake.
Yeah.
But why it was a mistake for me? It's because I had a job, right? I had an IT job. So while I was doing it, I thought, I'm doing this much of work and I'm getting paid less. What if I do this, I mean, deal with client directly and sell these things? I will get a lot of money. So I mean, that's part of, I mean, a good thing in the freelancing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
So I thought about that, and my first step was not freelancing. What I thought was I kind of started as a business. I
Yeah,
didn't have much of a team, but I had a name and logo.
yeah, yeah.
I started doing marketing and all. I left my job. I left my job and I was full into it. I mean, I even told you I'm not going back to the 9 to
Yeah,
5.
yeah, yeah.
I'm full into the
Fully into
freelancing.
the field, yeah.
No more 9 to 5. So I got into it, and it was I started doing in the logos and the brochures and started doing marketing. What I will do, I mean, to do the marketing is I chose an industry first. I mean, what my services was some basic designing, logo design stuff, and the web designing things. And also, I chose the industry. I'm going to start with the tourism because the location I was living in, the
Yeah,
tourism clients were a lot of there. So
yeah.
what I will
By
do,
the
I
way, we were
mean,
in Nigambu at that time, so Nigambu is a
yeah, we were
very
in
much of
Negombo.
tourist destination.
Yeah,
This is before Corona,
yeah,
so yeah,
before Canada,
before
yes.
Corona.
It
Whenever
was,
you go to the beach side, you don't see locals at all. There's foreigners everywhere, so it was a tourist paradise. So yeah, it's
yeah,
obvious that
it was,
he wanted to choose that field, that side of the
it
market.
was 2 or 3 years ago, I think.
Not too, man. It was, I
So,
think, it's 4 years ago, right?
sorry, man.
I think it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, right. Shit.
Yeah,
So,
it's a long time, man, because we've been suffering from Corona,
yeah, right.
and uh, and before
Yeah,
that we had another issue, and it's all before that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, so at that point, actually, no, okay, I will explain you guys. I mean, this my journey is going to explain a lot of things. I mean, a lot of answers for your questions. So, so how I started was, I mean, I did two things at the beginning. So one is I started working. Even I was working for, worked for another company before. I didn't have much of a portfolio on my hand. So what I did after I left my work, I started working on personal projects because I thought I have to build my portfolio. I mean, even I don't have clients, I have to make portfolios. I started working on personal projects, I brought up some ideas and started working on some mobile apps and websites. And then what I will do in a week, 2 or 3 days in a week, I will open up the Google map, choose some shop and see if they have social media or website. I will note these things down, and then what I will do, I will take my bike and go to that shop directly. I mean, go to their door and I'll try to talk to the owner. I mean, if give them introduction. I mean, who I am. I'm a freelancer. I can do these things. I mean, we've done it one time, right?
Yeah. We did it one time. We had these brochures printed out from these small papers. We did it at home, and we stapled it. Everything was done by by hand, and we just went to those people's doors, man. We just walked in right in, and we said we do this, and actually we got kind of a good response. I mean, people responded, you know.
We just print. I mean, it's not even a proper brochure. We printed it in
no.
paper.
No. I mean, I don't even have a sample. It's. I mean, you can see this. This is proper square, right? Our brochure was not even like this. All right, it had rough edges and everything, but still it didn't stop us. You know, we wanted to get the job done. We wanted to get the gigs, so we just walked right in. I mean, to be honest, most of these clients, they didn't actually care about this. You know, this piece of paper, they didn't actually care about it. You know, the fact that we walked in and we talked to them. So it was quite an experience. You know.
What's important was what's in those papers. I mean, you don't even have to have a brochure. I mean, if you know what you are selling, I mean, if you know the right idea about your service, I mean, you can explain. You don't need this business card or brochure. It's just some extra things. So, yeah, that's what I mean. Sometimes I went with you, and most of the time I went alone. So for 2 or 3 months, that's how it was for me. And I was working on personal projects, and weekly I will knock some doors. It's not always you will get a good impression. Sometimes, I mean, they will like from the door, they'll say, I mean, go. Like that. And some people, I mean, like some people, they won't even know what's freelance is. I mean, so one time I remember I went to a shop and I explained everything, and he asked me where you're coming from, which company. I said, I'm a freelance. Okay. Where is that company? He asked me, where is the freelance company?
Oh dear God.
So,
that's true.
It's, I mean, it's fun. I mean, like, not everyone knows about the freelancing thing in Sri Lanka. I mean, even some professionals doesn't know what actually freelance is. So that's fine. So those are, I mean, some obstacles I found in the beginning stage. And so for a long time, actually, in my freelance, after I left my job, I worked on personal projects, and those personal projects actually helped me help me forward in the freelance. Actually, I'm still using those projects in my portfolio, actually. But I suggest, I mean, like anyone who wants to jump into the freelance, take your time a little bit, like at least if you are out of university, if you are a freshie, at least take 6 months or 7 months, build your portfolio, work on your own projects. That's very important. I mean, even though you don't have a client, personal projects is going to, I mean, give you a lot of value, because it's something you choose. That's your idea. You choose, and you think that you are comfortable with it. That means the outcome is going to be really good when you work on that. Because client projects, and it's not always, you can't like present like you, because let's say you're building a website, mostly 80% of it will be like what the client wants.
Yeah, big fonts and shitty images, right? Yeah.
So even if you suggest the good things, I mean, the UX or something, I mean, they will want what they want, right? So, but the personal project is something different. So I would say, I mean, create as much as you want, as a personal projects you want, and make them important. I mean, when you're showing up the portfolio. So that's something you really have to do at the beginning stage of the freelance. And so after I've doing those things, I got some projects from friends, and you brought up one website for the tourism. So those were my start, and then after that, projects started to come by. I mean, one friend suggested another, and they had a project, and I
Yeah,
built
kept
it, and
rolling.
they gave me another project. Just kept running. It's like a chain. But I mean, you gotta get your word out. I mean, social media and stuff. You gotta get your word out. But I
So,
would say, I mean, yeah.
so when you said like it becomes a chain, right? With the work, then it brings the question: should you do every gig that you get, apart from the time management and everything?
Mm,
Should you do everything? I mean, did you do everything?
I did do everything,
And what do you
and I'm
suggest
still
for
doing
the?
that.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say it's up to your capacity actually. Not everyone can like work 4 or 5 projects at the same time.
Yeah.
um, because it's not like it's your energy or anything. You might have the work. I mean, you might have family to look after, or might have your work hours might be different. So you have to think about these things. So for me, I work a 9 to 5 job also, and then after that, I'll work on the freelance stuff. But throughout the years, but with the experience, you can get more projects. But at the beginning stage, I would suggest, if you think you manage 1 or 2 projects, it's best to tell no, that because I've had experience at the beginning stage. I took projects, and then the client didn't like the time management and all, and they stopped working with me.
Yeah, that's
So
also
in the
another
beginning
thing
stage,
that we should consider about, right? Because it's not only us, it's about the client as well, because they are looking for something to come out as soon
yeah,
as possible, because everyone wants their job to be done
yeah,
first. So yeah, that's
yeah.
that's completely up to the person.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
If yeah,
yeah. Or that's the time is an issue. I mean, the time will be the main issue actually. Because of the time, you will try to finish that project as quick as possible. You won't think about the important things in the project. You will create a shitty project, and
yeah, missing
the
details and
client will
everything.
stop
Yeah,
working.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's up to you. It's your capacity. But in the beginning stage, I would suggest get one project at a time, complete it, and then move to the next. But after a while, you will know. You can manage 2 or 3 projects at the same time. That time you can work on multiple projects.
And now being Instagram being one of the biggest platforms right now for for independent businesses. How do you think that works for freelancers? Because it's really hard to get these work out there when it comes to freelancing stuff. From my experience, what do you suggest? What are your
Okay.
promoting strategies in that side of it? I mean, not only
Okay.
Instagram, in any platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
I mostly relied on Instagram and Dribble. Actually, Dribble is not a social media
No,
thing,
it's not a social.
right?
It's
It's where
actually
you
like
can,
a portfolio, right? You can share the link to show
yeah,
your work.
portfolio site. But I mostly relied on Instagram, because it's like I like that. When you go to a profile, it will show all the images in one view. That's like, you can share that link to a customer, and they will go and they see all the work in, like, it's like Dribble, but it's a social media,
All
Instagram,
right. So
right?
technically
So
you're using Instagram as Dribble, right? Okay, I get it.
as
Yeah,
Dribble.
as Dribble, because
Uh,
let's just say it. If you're trying to get a client through Instagram, it's kind of tricky these days with businesses. What's your take on that?
what
Yeah.
I did, I got 2 or 3 projects through Instagram. What I do is, there are startups. What they do, they do this cash on delivery in Instagram. They will deliver the product and you pay cash on delivery. You market all their product in Instagram. So for those kind of, there are a lot of
that for physical products, it's really awesome. I mean, I sold things. I sold shoes, and I sell decorative items. It's pretty easy on Instagram. You can find clients for those products. Wow, the crowd is like crazy about it. But when it comes to freelance, like let's just say I'm having a service for websites and UI UX. For those things, it's kind of different from this thing. Maybe the audience that I'm focusing on was different, but for some, it didn't work out very well for me. You were going.
Yeah, that audience is what I'm talking about. So those people, I mean, that promoting products in the Instagram without any Facebook, without any proper logo, they come across a lot of issues. I mean, the cash on delivery, there are some issues in there, and the product they are promoting, they don't have much of a clear photos, or they don't do much of editing in the images. So what you can do, you can find some image, I mean, business like this, and you can send them a message. I mean, I found these issues in your business, and I can fix this. I can create a proper logo for you. I mean, if I create a proper logo for you, I mean, how it will affect their business. So you can point out, you can do some research. I mean, find a business that they don't have a logo website, and you can send a DM, and I can make these things. It will affect your business in this way, and if you are interested, I mean, we can work together or something. So that's how I found the 2 or 3 projects in Instagram. I don't rely on Instagram or social media mostly because I built a chain and it's working perfectly right now. But I worked on social media as well, but that's how I got projects. I mean, even before, like I said, for the clients I got for the tourism, I do a research on Google Map, find a shop. I mean, I'll see if they have website or social media. I'll go to them and talk to them. So
it's the same strategy you're using in a different platform, right?
Yeah.
That's actually smart. Yeah, that's actually smart. So
you gotta find a problem, right?
Yeah.
That's
the thing that freelancers, we should realize there's always a client that's looking for something to be done. The thing is how we approach them, how to find them is the biggest question, because every business has to solve this, media problem, because everything is in a platform right now. The digital issue is there. They need people to create content for them. But the thing is, we don't know where to go find those clients. So that's the biggest challenge. But once you do, with experience and everything, I'm sure the people who are looking for this would be on their way like you are right now. You're on a chain, right? Just keep on rolling.
Yeah, it's a struggle in the beginning. I'm not say it's easy. It's a struggle in the beginning, but after you caught up with some client, it's gonna keep coming. Like, I mean, you won't be able to stop it. Even if you say, I mean, I can't write, they'll just keep coming. So
that's true.
You just have to climb that mountain. After that, that's a good.
That's true. So in all these back and forth, how do you keep yourself motivated when you first begin, or when you experience a dry era? How do you keep yourself motivated?
It's at a point it'll be tiring, because importantly, if you are working the 9-to-5 job and doing the freelance, it's a really tiring thing.
Yeah, it's really tiring. You get home and you just want to Netflix or something.
Yeah. Especially when you are living alone, it's really hard.
I know.
What kept me going, and still keep me going, is I think about the time I have.
Yeah.
Actually, whenever I let's say, I come from work and sometimes I just go to the YouTube and just time flies. Like, it was 6 and now it's 7:30. I've been in 1.5 hours. I
I
was
know.
thinking to
I
start
have been
work.
there, man. I've been there. You know, for a minute you just watch something, and the next thing you know, you're just watching America Got Talents in chain. You know, it's just it just keeps on going and going and going.
Dude,
I know the feeling.
Google's algorithm is, I mean,
Yeah.
just,
That's true. That's true. You know, we all been there. It happens. It
yeah,
happens.
it
It's
happened.
not a problem. The thing is that you realize that you have this much of time, so you just do it. That's what matters.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, I have a fear of time. So, like, I mean, I think that there's only, I mean, less things. I mean, some things you can do in your lifetime, right? So, I mean, whenever I get a project, I think it like it's going to, every project you work on is going to add some value to your life, right?
Yeah.
It's going to add portfolio, but it's some type of experience, and you're going to learn new things. So that's what I think. I mean, if I'm like delaying a project, that means I'm taking more time. That's, I mean, that's going to delay other projects, and at the end of the time, I mean, not able to do some other projects. So I think about the time, and so, you know, when I'm like you watching YouTube or Netflix, it's just, I mean, suddenly I just think about the time I'm wasting it. I just gotta get back in and do the project. So the time is, I mean, that's what I think, and get back to work.
Yeah. That is.
What's keep me going?
Yeah, so yeah, that's actually something that everyone should think of. Because we have so little time, obviously, and to experiment. That is, from 18, once you get out of school, to a certain, let's just say 30, 35, maybe 30, you got that time, but afterwards it gets ugly. You don't have that all time,
Yeah,
because maybe you might be married. You'll have to commit your time towards your family, your kids, and everything. I mean, at the moment we don't have those problems. So for the
yeah,
people who does, for the people who are, maybe about 30, and uh, who are trying to be a freelancers, I think it's about actually managing your time. Maybe you need to sacrifice some of those hours with your family, and they should, as a family, as they should as well understand this situation and the thing that you're trying to achieve. Uh,
yeah.
so that's
Yeah,
something
once you
that,
up, get up to a point like, I mean, you put some time in the beginning stage, you build a good foundation for your work. After that, I mean, projects will be coming in, you can work, and
yeah,
what you can do, I mean, I mean, from the freelance, you can grow your business, like, grow it like a business. You can hire some other freelancers. I mean, you can give them project, and you can be managing the project. You'll be getting some money. I mean, you will have time. So, like, at the beginning stage, you spend a lot of time and create a good foundation, and then you can, I mean, you will, with
yeah.
time, I mean, you will get it right. It's not always struggle.
Yeah, exactly. It's a community. You need to build these relationship with, as you said, with freelancers as well as clients, to lead you to possible clients. Because you have led, as you're being a freelancer, you have led me to few jobs as well. There's nothing that, like, there's no greed in this thing. You just get the job, and if you don't, you just share it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a community, actually. I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if I'm speaking for everyone. There might be people who wouldn't want to share, but I'm just saying, it's a community. You can always talk to people, and there are places that you can talk. So uh,
Yeah, that should be some, I mean, that's something you have to put it in a plan, actually. Even if you're doing a full-time freelancing, I mean, how long are you going to do it? I mean, you can't do it, I mean, in your 50s, 60s. You can't be working on, I mean, all
yeah,
alone, all the projects and all. I mean, you need some help. So it's all, you should be in the plan, I would say. I mean, in a future, like, you should plan, like, 5 years, 6 years, you should be planning to hire some people, and
mm,
giving them work, and you, like, own a business. So that's my end, I mean, end game. Like,
yeah, I
I'm
know.
doing the
Yeah,
freelance right now, but
yeah,
at a point I'm gonna
You're
transfer
gonna
your
start a
business.
company, yeah, of course.
Yeah, freelance is gonna, give you all the lessons you need to start the business. Uh, I don't think, even someone who completed a master's would uh, learn the things that you learn in the freelance. It's like
Yeah,
you do the marketing, you do the sales, you're completing the whole project. So let's say you worked on, 7 to 10 years as a freelancer. If you, when you're starting that business, that no one can compete with you. You know everything.
yeah.
Thing is, if you're going to do a freelance, if you're going to put that much of hustle into it, it got to be something that you love. That you're passionate about. So throughout this, did some recruitment sales also, in my full-time job. So I've seen candidates, like I've seen three type of candidates actually. One is who comes to a job thinking that job is cool, right? The web designing or developer, that guy, that people think, this job is cool, I want to do it.
Yeah.
Second thing is for the money. This job has a lot of money, so I chose this industry and I came to it. Third one is the passionate.
Yeah.
They don't care about how much they are getting paid, or the other facilities or anything. They just want to learn. They want to have the experience. They just love that job. So if you guys, thinking, you might think that you're really passionate about for a job, but sometimes you might just think this job is cool. That's different. You think
Yeah.
that your job is cool, and when you think cool and when you start doing it, you might start boring in that thing.
Yeah.
You have to think, is it cool? Is it fun to do this job? It's not that it's cool or fun to have this designation. Is it cool and fun to do this job? If if it's cool and fun to do that, that's passionate.
I agree on that.
So,
I've seen a lot of people who are so bonded with their designation, but apparently they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. So that it's not, it's not bad. You can do that, and you might get along with the company and all. But after a point, you will find it boring, and you might don't want to do the projects or anything. So I would suggest, if you find something that you're passionate about, not just I'm talking about the designing or web development, anything you want to do. So that's that's about the passionate. So it's always best to choose the job that you are passionate about, because down the track if you choose a job for any other reason, you will find it boring. Even I've experienced, I've tried other jobs in the past, and they mean for money, and I thought job designation is cool, and it'll for a start, for first 2 or 3 months it's fine, but after that you definitely find it boring. So it's definitely good to find a passionate job.
Lose interest in that. Yeah, that's true. So I think we can go to a quick pros and cons being a freelancer. So
okay,
let's go to first. Let's go for cons, right? No, and then we'll give the pros.
Okay. Cons is, the main con I find is, if you are working a 9 to 5 job and you're doing freelancing, you won't have much time to spend on
for yourself,
any other things for yourself, for your family, friends. You won't have much time. Even for this podcast, we've been postponing it for a while now.
I know. I've been trying to get a grasp of this guy for a while now, but yeah, that's true. You wouldn't have time for yourself. That is true. All that Netflix and Prime accounts are just a waste of money.
That's a waste of money. So that's a main issue I found. And what else is
lack of income stability.
Yeah, in full-time, if you're doing a full-time freelance, it's not sure that you're going to get a job on that month, right? If you are, especially when you're in the beginning stage, that's going to be a problem. So, I mean, if you are going to start, it's always better to have some savings in your account to run 3 or 6 months, because it might take, I mean, it might take 6 months, or sometimes it might take 1 year. I mean, based on your industry you're looking for. So,
and plus, it's not something that, you should let your mood to be bad, because even the best freelancers out there have their dry spells as well. So it's about, as you said, save up when you have more clients, and try to live off it.
Yeah. So that's that. I mean, the income stability, and what else?
Well, those are the major cons, I think, with the money and the time is one of the most major problem as we face.
And next thing is like, if you're working in an office or working with someone that you have some people around you, you will be working with, I mean, that's a less chance you'll be boring in that job. There's people to talk. I mean, you're not alone, but freelancing is a different thing. You have to be working alone. If you turn around, that's just
it's just wall to wall, and that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much. So it's like, I mean, most people must have, I mean, experience that by now.
I mean, I've experienced that. You experienced that. Yeah, everyone has experience, and the time maybe we talk alone, it's fine, it's fine, nobody's around, so
it's fine.
It's fine. Just talk to yourself and keep going. That's fine. Talking alone is not something that you're doing alone. Everyone does that, so no worries about it.
It's not a crazy thing, right?
That's also and going back to pros, I think you get to be your own boss. You decide your strategies and everything.
Freelance, it's definitely freedom. Free is there.
Free.
So you get to be a boss. I mean, you choose your time, you choose your budget, you choose your project. That's a lot of freedom in there. So that's a major pro in there. And so, I mean, time also, I mean, you can, if you want to go trip tomorrow, you can just pack up and just go. I mean, you don't have to answer anyone, right?
And plus, you get to learn all sort of things, not only web, let's just say you're a designer, you just don't do the graphical part. You do the client communication, you do the sales, you handle all these things, and you learn what skills that's necessary to start a business. That's also a very valuable thing nowadays.
Yeah, that's a really valuable thing. Like, I've understood this when I mean, before the 9 to 5 job I was a freelancer for 3 or 4 years, and with that experience I got into this new job, and it was, I mean, a big role. I mean, it was a big jump for me. I mean, from the 9 to 5 job I had before and the 9 to 5 job I got after that, it was a big jump for me. I was a bit worried. I mean, it was a huge responsibility, but after I got into it, I knew, I mean, whatever the things I was worried about, I mean, I already learned these things in freelancing. I mean, including, like, I mean, I've known, I mean, extra things like marketing and sales things. I've gave advice from some other teams as well. So it's really a good thing. I mean, like, the freelance is going to, I mean, teach you for everything in the industry you're working on. So that's also a huge pro in freelancing.
Yeah. So I think with that being said, and I think we come to the end of the show right now. So hopefully we'll talk about this more with I'm sure a lot of people would have more questions after watching the episode, and then probably we'll do another session regarding this. And thank you, man. Thank you for joining us today and sharing all this information.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, it was very informative, and I'm sure a lot of people would find the same. So yeah, till next time. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye.